So they said
it's an ultimate. It was the ultimate. It was the first version of the ultimate technocratic state, a la Orwell or anything else. I remember having this discussion with Alexander Mercouris like 4 years ago, and he said, "Yeah, Tom, what was the Soviet Union? It was the first attempt at a massive technocratic state. Well, what do you think the EU is? And what do you think the current American government is?" I agree, but what's the enabler of this? Is very important. Like, my family came from nothing. My family didn't have anything. Like 2 generations ago, we came over on the boat from Italy and we had nothing. We came away from a system of fascism and of creeping authoritarian into an open system that will allow them to generate wealth through their own wits. When the United States was a relatively free economy, when the wealth that you generate, which is the profit you generate off of your actions, compounds at a pretty stable freaking rate. And as long as you're allowed to keep that wealth, the system we have today is not capitalism. It's extractive.
Well, I agree.
It's extractive in that by paying interest on the money you use to sell your labor, you have to pay interest on that money. Guess what? You're only 1% to 2% actually freaking profitable. Real capital compounds between 1% and 2% per annum in a real sense, period. And through history, it was 1%. And around 180 years ago, it doubled to 2%. You can argue that it was a mixture of property rights and access to higher energy density and a couple of other things. But that's it. And Gary North used to talk about this stuff all the time in Lou Rockwell.
I don't know anyone that would argue that the United States is a Marxist state.
I would. You're talking to one. I think that we're literally run. I believe Comintern never ended, dude. I think that since the communist takeover of the United States under FDR is what we're dealing with. Like, we have Marxism taught at every level of our educational system. We have a central bank. We have a progressive income tax system. We have a death tax. Go look at the 10 planks of the Communist Manifesto to bring about the thing. The United States has 7 or 8 of them. We have them all. It's already there. You've just been propagandized into thinking you're still busy. It's the needs of the collective outweigh the needs of the individual. The individual is not sovereign and is subservient to the whim of the collective, and not in any voluntary manner where they can opt out. No, they have to be browbeaten into conformity, and we will coerce your conformity at every turn.
Well, Tom,
you look at Western policy, and it's very common. The idea, look, the reason that we're at the zero bound, that we went to negative yields and all of this stuff, was to preserve that wealth extraction system. They have already taken all the blood from all of us stones that they can get. There is nothing left. We're all broke. It has to come back the other way. The reason that they're so desperate to destroy the United States is because there's still the vestiges of the rule of law, not reality. The vestiges of rule of law, of institution, of the ability to all of those things, and to shelter your money. Remember, the United States is the biggest tax haven in the world. The Europeans hate us for this because they want complete control over all of your money. They want a central bank digital currency where they can program into it their social credit system and deny you any agency if you go against the state. That's what they want. That's the end state of what we're fighting. We are fighting that with people who are only 10% better than them.
But if I understand what
but we have to start somewhere. And the systems itself is so filled with so many inconsistencies and so much internal and so many internal discrepancies that we have reached that end state where it cannot continue without going back to giving back some of the friggin' capital that they've stolen from us. They've got to put some of it back into the system. They've got to give some of it back to us. They can't